Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous, my friends. Let's get it going here, my gods. Talk to me. What do we got for Leo here in early November? What energies, messages, insights can we look at for our beautiful friends? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo here. Please, my gods, what's the vibe? What are the energies? What can we look forward to here? Thank you. Big focus, big focus on something here. Either there's something you really need to keep a very close eye on. I don't always say that this card is extremely cautionary, but it's like, oh, your attention should be here. You need to pay attention to something. Before we fully dive into that, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So obviously, if you look at the imagery here, it's Little Red Riding Hood, right? And for those of you that are familiar with the tale of Little Red Riding Hood, it could be a little dicey, right? She's getting hunted down by that big bad wolf. I don't always go worst case scenario with this card. Notice we have her in the center of the path and the wolf is really looking at her. So again, like the message I already gave you, there could be something that either you are hyper focused on or that you need to notice. Okay, there's something that really needs your eyes, really needs your attention here. Now, another thing I will say about this card, it could represent attention in general. So for some Leos in this time, maybe you got eyes on you, right? And Leo's one of those magnetic signs where that happens without you trying. Sometimes you attract good attention, sometimes it's the other side. So just know, like, in this time, you could be attracting a little more attention than you normally do, which could be quite a bit when this card shows up. Either that or there's something you're watching or need to keep a very close eye on, okay? Now, of course, this could talk about just being cautious as well. I feel like it does link in somewhat to the reading we had last week, but we're just going to leave it over there for now. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up here one time for you, my good friends. What's happening? And yeah, while we shuffle this deck up and get it ready to rock, let's talk about last week's reading. There was somebody in their feelers. That's kind of the vibe I was picking up last week, even though I was feeling nice and jolly wearing my Halloween costume in last week's readings. The reading was titled They're Mad, okay? And I didn't necessarily feel like it was all of you. I mean, maybe some of you, your tolerance for certain things could have reached its limit, but to me, it did feel like somebody else could have been the vibe we were picking up on, where it felt a little disgruntled, it felt a little on edge, or aggressive at the very least. So we're going to see, I mean, you know, energy could bleed over from week to week. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be looking at your vibe or somebody else's. Well, let's get it going here. Let's get 3 cards to start. And I've seen for a couple weeks, like the emotion was very up and down, spiky. But let's get it going here. 3 cards for Leo. My lovely Leos. Thank you. Okay, so we're starting with the Ten of Swords, and I mean, if you read tarot, again, this doesn't sync the whole reading. It showed up in the Aries reading as well. We're going to have to really take a look at this. That is for sure. It's like we're starting with an ending. Let's get a couple more. I mean, for some Leos, maybe there's just something that's coming to a culmination. And we have the Strength card. That's your card. So that makes me feel better that this is next to the Ten of Swords, because it's like, oh yeah, well, I mean, this might be rough, but it's doable. It's workable. For some reason, I'm picking that up already. Let's get one more. Let's get one more. Yeah, up here for Leo, please. Thank you. Chariot. Okay, moving forward. Good. All right. So for some Leos out there, there could be a difficult period or difficult situation where it's like, okay, onward and upward. I'm kind of getting that vibe already just with how the energy is laid out, like with the Ten of Swords into Strength into the Chariot. It's like, okay, we're gonna keep pushing forward, or now we could move forward with something. But let's go through piece by piece and really build it out. But at first glance, I'm looking down here, and elementally, We're starting here with air and fire. You know, that can be combustible and explosive. We also have the chariot, which is very aggressive, very fast, very explosive. So just because we're starting with a rougher energy card doesn't sink the whole reading, because guess what? The energy is very much up and down. Like, it's a little volatile. So it's like, all right, could go this way, could go that way. It's like very much up and down. To me, there's distinct ways that something could go. It's like, yeah, we could go down that path or we could go down that road. But either way, it's moving forward. Let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out, though. Obviously, two strong major arcana. So there's, to me, I feel for some Leos, there's like a fork in the road could be approaching for some of you. But position number one, we are starting with the Ten of Swords. Now, as I mentioned, we're beginning with an ending. So for some of you, yeah, maybe there is a certain cycle of life that is closing out. We're getting very close to closing out. The Ten of Swords, as a lot of you already know, is one of the more challenging cards in the deck. But I always say it's on a spectrum, right? It doesn't always have to be life-altering or anything like that. The Ten of Swords could sometimes be annoying. Sometimes it could be anxious, nervous, on edge type of energy. But yeah, it does represent pain as well. Watch your physical health and vitality in this time, like pay very close attention to that. But when I see it starting here, it's like, okay, there's some cycle or there is something that is coming to a close, but there is energy moving forward either way, which is a good thing. It's not like it's stopped and stuck, if that makes sense. So we'll see what's up. Now, the positive of this card, because you know I always give the challenge and the positive, the Ten of Swords could represent, you know, onward and upward. This is as far down as it can go, and it's only going to improve from here. That's the vibe I pick up with this card in its most positive sense. Now, moving to the center, and yeah, there could be a warning with that Ten of Swords. We'll just have to see. In the center, pardon me, and it's crazy how I got a little frog in my throat as I was saying these things. We have the Strength card. It's one of your cards in the tarot deck. So in my simplistic style, when we clarified, it could tell us something that's coming towards you, a way you might be feeling. But what are some of the things we know about this card? It's extremely angelic. It's extremely protective. It speaks to somebody's character and how they process things and get through things. So of course, if there's certain chapters that are closing out or a difficult time period that you're going through, the Strength card is what we want to see. I would want to see this in any signs reading here. It's somebody's strength of character. It could represent being tested from the universe as well, like trials, tribulations, problems, you name it, especially next to this Ten of Swords. It's usually very positive and beneficial. What's a challenge with this card? When the Strength card shows up in reverse, it could either represent somebody that gives up on something. It could represent somebody that they cave, so to speak. I mean, in its challenge. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but when we see the Strength card in the challenge, it's like, I mean, somebody could, I don't want to say like relapse on something, but it's like, all right, well, the temptation was too much. Like, it's a very odd type of energy we're picking up here. So beware temptations in this time as well. Moving to the back end, I like this card in this position, especially with the volatility in the front end. It's like, okay, it could go that way, it could go that way. Either way, it's going one way. We have the Chariot here. Now, this one links to the Cancer Collective, the Cancerians. This is a card of forward movement, determination. It's action. It's the fastest card in the whole entire deck, and it is very explosive. So in its positive sense, like, yeah, we're moving forward. Something's happening, something's moving, which can be really good. Now, other things it could represent, of course, it could represent transportation, distance, your mode of transportation, if we're talking about smaller picture things. But to me, the Chariot is action one way or another. So we're going to have to see how this energy goes, whether it's going to be a really positive result or whether it could be a big warning. We'll just have to see. The challenge of this card is that it could be a little aggressive. Remember, chariots were initially meant to be instruments of war, so it could be a little conflict. It could be someone running away from something as well. So I'm not getting that vibe there completely, but yeah, Leo, we are going to have to dive deeper on all this action, so let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What is happening with my lovely Leos? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ten of Swords. And yes, for your reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, 10 of Swords time. What's going on here? What is happening? Thank you. Page of Cups in reverse, huh? Okay. So yeah, this can be a very distinct closeout of something or an ending, that's for sure. And with the Page of Cups in reverse, I mean, watch out for fall-offs with people or big communication issues when that card shows up in reverse. To me, it's like, okay, well, I feel like this is one option or one way something could go. That's just how it feels to me. It's like, oh, this had so much potential and it didn't even get off the ground. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. So we're just going to have to see how the rest of the reading progresses. But to me, one way or another, it is some cycle that could be ending or closing out here. Now, the Page of Cups, it could represent people, water signs in particular. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. All pages represent new. They represent communication, speaking, talking. So when we see it in reverse underneath this Ten of Swords, for some Leos out there, maybe there is a difficult time you're going through and you're putting on a very strong face. That's what this could be here with the Ten of Swords, Page of Cups in reverse. It's like, I'm not going through the best time, but I'm not going to let them know it. I'm not going to tell this person. To me, it's somebody going through something and they're trying to do it mostly alone. That's the vibe I'm picking up here. So just know that if you're a cross watcher as well, that could be the case. But yeah, when I see the Ten of Swords, I feel like this is a way something could go. For a small portion of you, I'm getting another vibe similar to what I got with the Aries reading, that there could be something where you're like, you know what? I don't want to give energy to that anymore. So it all depends. We got to see how the rest of it plays out, because that's just where we're starting here. And also watch out for the heightened anxiety and nerves. Either that's somebody else or yours. Just let's keep moving, because it's getting me all nervy just feeling this vibe. But let's go in on strength, see what's up. I really want to get over to that Chariot too. So why is strength here for the lovely Leos? What's going on? What is going on? Okay. Four of Pentacles in the upright, holding on to something possibly. This doesn't necessarily have to be bad, but one thing that I'm seeing here, and I saw it here in the front, where this energy is somebody going through something and they're not really speaking about it. The same thing I'm getting here with the Strength card and the Four of Pentacles. The thing that I love about this alignment, though, when I see Strength and the Four of Pentacles, yeah, some people could say it's a closed off energy. It's not really budging. This could be something that you've been dealing with for a while. That's possible for some of you. But when I see this card here with Strength, it's like unmovable or immovable, pardon me. It's like I'm not budging. Like, I got this. This is not going to throw me off my purpose. This is not going to completely throw me off the track. So I like the staying power that I pick up here in the center. And everyone knows Leo is a fixed fire sign, and I'm picking that up big time here in the center. But for some of you out there, maybe there is something that you need to either air out or speak with somebody about. Because the Four of Pentacles in its roughest form, either it's not letting go of something, or it could be somebody keeping something within. Okay, so just know, I mean, when I see the Ten of Swords, Page of Cups, and Strength in the Four of Pentacles, it's like, no. Yeah, no. I'm not accepting that. That could be a vibe too. Let's just keep moving forward. Let's see what Chariot has to say. Because I've been saying since the beginning that the energy I've been picking up for this, it's like, okay, the energy could go one way, but it could also go another. So let's see what the Chariot has to tell us. Yeah, we still have this explosive energy. I like the staying power in the center. But let's see why the Chariot's here. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So what is going on? What is going on with that Chariot? Okay. Yeah, so the stressed out energy for a lot of Leos out there, it's showing up here on the back. It is in reverse though, which is a good thing. I feel like this could be an advice for some of you, like you might need some sort of outlet. There's just so much built up energy I'm picking up here within this whole spread, whether it's physical activity, whether it's creative means, you name it. For a lot of you, you might need to let off some sort of steam here with what I'm picking up in the back. Now, this is the good result. Either way, it's stressful though. That's another thing I'm picking up. Yeah, the Chariot with the Nine of Swords in reverse. It's like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, or that went better than I thought, but it still feels stressful. So again, I will say combining the stuff we have on either end, it's like, okay, it's the better result. That's the result I wasn't really happy about, but either one is a little stressful. Like, that's very peculiar. So just know, like, there could be someone you're linked to that could be quite anxious, nervous, you name it. That could be a big thing. But the Nine of Swords, you see that person in the upright, they're like, they're crying into their hands. In the reverse, it's relieving. Okay, so when I see it under the Chariot, it's like, okay, this is better. This isn't permanent. Like, this energy is moving forward in a positive way. But I also feel like for a lot of Leos, you might just need to let off steam in one way or another. There could be an energy buildup within you or within a situation where it would be very beneficial for you to let off some steam. I mean, and this could be the other person's vibe too, but I'm not huge on giving advice. I just like reading the energy. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow card. I mean, it kind of fits the bill with what I've been seeing in the Leo readings for the past couple of weeks. So, I mean, if it's not your message, you could check your other alignments, of course. But if you kindly look here in the box, position number 1, we're starting here with the Ten of Swords and the Page of Cups in reverse. So, of course, I picked up a few things here. That could be an ending of some sort. There could be a cycle of life where it is starting to come to a close of some sort. Either that, or there could be some where it's like you're not really putting much energy into it anymore. If those don't apply, even if those do apply, when I have the Ten of Swords with the Page of Cups in reverse, it's like I'm going through this, but I'm not speaking to anybody about it, putting on a brave face. So moving to the center, we have the Strength card, your card, with the Four of Pentacles. For a portion of you, maybe there's something you're still holding on to. That's very possible. It takes time to heal through things. But I also get this immovable type of energy where it's like, I will not accept defeat type of vibe, but I'm also getting someone standing firm, standing strong. So even though there's like this stressful energy on the outskirts, it's like, I'm okay. I will be okay. I will get through this. It's like giving me a good, firm type of vibe here. Moving to the back end, like I said, it's been like a fork in the road since the beginning where it's like, okay, it could go that way. We have the Chariot with the Nine of Swords in reverse. That's the better option. That's the better path. And I did get little notes of like, okay, well, that wasn't as stressful as I thought it would be, or that went better than I had hoped. That could be really nice. But either way, I feel like for some Leos, you need to let off some sort of steam, whether it's like physically or emotionally. With all this pent up vibe here in the front, there needs to be a release of energy here on the back end. So stressed, nervous type of vibe in the mix. So please take a screenshot of that if you want to look into those further. Let's see what's in the shadows. So let's get a good shuffle here and see what's going on for Leo, please. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. Let's get it going. And yeah, I appreciate all my channel members very much. But let's get your shadow card out here. What is going on? Thank you. The Four of Pentacles again. Okay, so the fact that this is showing up in the shadows and it showed up in the main part of the read, I mean, that obviously means this is a prominent or important card for us to take a closer look at. So if you are going to do any further research on cards in this week's reading, I would look up the Four of Pentacles and familiarize yourself with it. But again, the shadow side of this is something that somebody either can't or is not letting go of for whatever reason. No judgment here, but that's just what this vibes with. Now, I will say this, for a portion of you, when this comes to finances, this is a very good energy. It does speak about saving up, watching your budget, saving up for big purchases. This can be really good because it talks about stability coming in the financial realm. But when we're talking emotional, this could sometimes even be grudgy. Okay, so keep that in mind. Maybe if you don't release something in the proper way, this could, it's like the energy is not going anywhere until you actively work on it when this card is in the mix. Either that or there's just something you're very private about right now for whatever reason. But again, no judgment here. So we're just going to leave that Four of Pentacles right there, Leo. That's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble with understanding its meaning? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.